Hi, I'm Eileen Roach, editor of Designs and Machine Embroidery magazine, and I'm a machine embroiderer just like you. I have struggled with hooping through the years. That's why I developed this brand new hoop called Snap Hoop. What I love about this hoop is that it's flat, it won't distort my fabric, it lets me move my fabric from one design to the next right at the machine without removing the attachment from the machine. I think you will find Snap Hoop is your answer to lots of embroidery challenges. Let's take a closer look at Snap Hoop. We'll start with the bottom frame. It's metal, it's completely flat, it has the attachment on the side, and this attachment is recognized by your machine, so your machine will know exactly what size hoop you have attached to the machine. The top frame has magnets all the way around all four sides. They're inserted into the fairly lightweight plastic top. There's two finger notches that are placed there, so when it's time to separate the top from the bottom, you have a slot to insert your thumb so that you can separate it. Also, notice the centering rulers, the adhesive centering rulers that come with Snap Hoop. They're very helpful when you are doing continuous embroidery and you need to line up a guideline on the hoop in a continuous fashion. I think the thing I love the most about Snap Hoop is it is totally flat. My fabric is not traveling across an inner ring, down under, well, across the outer ring, down under the inner ring, and across the surface to the other side. Now it's just completely flat. If I tug on it to smooth it, it will be taut and evenly stabilized within the hoop. Let me share with you some of the tasks that Snap Hoop can simplify. Here I have a pillowcase, a purchase pillowcase, that I have placed a single monogram on. Notice the design is far away from the hem edge, so obviously you can hoop anywhere within an item or garment. Quilt sandwiches are securely held in place, all three layers, the top, the batting, and the backing, with a smooth taut hold so you can stitch continuous quilt blocks or single quilt blocks in Snap Hoop. Knits have always been a challenge in a standard embroidery hoop because when you try to put that knit fabric across the inner and outer ring of a standard hoop, distortion can often occur and hoop burn. Not in Snap Hoop. You will place Snap Hoop over the design area, smooth your fabric, your knit fabric in place, and stitch that design without any snow plowing, puckers, or fabric distortion. Continuous embroidery has truly been simplified. This napkin has continuous embroidery all done in a 4x4 hoop. Just 3 diamonds were stitched at a time. I would lift the top frame and slide my fabric to the next area and stitch and repeat over and over all the way around this napkin. Let's take a look at this pillow, this luxurious lace design that has been stitched here. One design, then we lift that frame, slide our fabric up, stitch the second design, move over here. This can be done in a 5x7 or a 4x4 hoop. The choice is yours. Let's take a look at how easy it is to hoop a standard pillowcase for a single letter monogram in Snap Hoop. I'm going to show you how to hoop the other side of the pillowcase. I've already placed my target sticker about 3 inches above and in the center of the pillowcase. And just like a lot of other items, I find it's always easier to turn it inside out. That way I have the design area, I'll lay that down here for you, is flat on my work surface. So now I can hoop and see what I'm hooping. And I'll take my metal frame of the 4x4 hoop and place it underneath the design area. I then take that Snap Hoop top frame, snap it into place. I can hear it snap. I can feel the edges align. And then, look, I'm very crooked. Well, I could do a couple things. I could just lift my frame and it's tight. I could just lift my frame and reposition my fabric or pull the hoop a little bit. And then I can fine tune it by just tugging on that fabric. And you know, the fine tuning is something we are always so tempted to do in a standard hoop, and we can't because we'll distort the fabric. But here in snap hoop, because it's flat, I can go and I can tug on that fabric and make sure that it's nice and flat and smooth. And then I center my needle right over there. I don't have to worry about this snow plowing. I am ready to go. Now you'll notice I didn't add stabilizer. That's because I'm going to float a tearaway, probably 2 layers of tearaway, right underneath the hoop at the machine. I could encapsulate it into the hoop or not. The choice is yours. Let's hoop a t-shirt with center chest embroidery. You'll see how simple it is to do in snap hoop. We don't have to worry about distorting this knit when we use snap hoop. So let's take a look. Here's the wrong side of my t-shirt. This is the front of my shirt. I have fused poly mesh cutaway stabilizer to eliminate the stretch in the design area. And I have placed a target sticker in the location of the center of the embroidery design. And I am ready now to hoop. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip this over so I can get the design side down on the flat surface, and then I'll take snap hoop and slide it right underneath. And I can look inside and I can see my target sticker, so I want to nail it about center of the hoop, and then I'll slide that top frame in place. And how about if I pick it up from the bottom so you can get a better look at what's happening inside the shirt. Okay, we'll open it up to expose the design area. And now I do have some ripples in here, so I can go and tug on my fabric, and of course the stabilizer at the same time, because it's one. And I can just pull on it till it's nice and flat. And you know, you can't do that in a standard hoop. In a standard hoop, because the knit is grabbed between the inner and outer ring, it would become distorted if you did that. But because you're just pulling flat fabric, you're not distorting anything. And now I can stitch that design. My finger will not snowplow. I'll attach this to the machine. Here's my attachment over here. The bulk of the shirt is up above the machine bed, so I don't have to worry about stitching on a sleeve or a hem. But of course, the last thing I do before placing it on the machine is to flip it over and make sure there's nothing caught inadvertently in the back of the hoop. So now I'm ready to attach to the machine and stitch. Now that you've seen snap hoop in action, we hooped a pillowcase, a knit t-shirt. I think you've seen for yourself just how easy it is to embroider with snap hoop. It takes out many of the hurdles that we've always had with standard hooping. Fabric distortion, hoop burn, puckering, very hard to line up designs when you want to do continuous embroidery. Well, no more. Snap hoop is your answer to those great embroidery challenges. I think you should order yours today. I know I haven't stitched without it. Continuous embroidery is a task that we're often tempted to do, but quite afraid to take the challenge. Let me show you how simple it is in snap hoop, and I'll give you some easy tips on making it easy for yourself. First, start with a longer piece of fabric than necessary. The finished length of this pillow is about 12 inches, so I started with like a 16-inch length of fabric. Extra 2 inches top and bottom never hurt anybody. Also, this fabric has a great alignment aid built right into it. This black line that separates the medium from the light pink, you can use that to make sure that you're square in the hoop. I'll show you what I mean. First, we're going to hoop for this design. So I have my flat fabric, I have poly mesh stabilizer underneath on the wrong side of the fabric, and I have cut the stabilizer the same length as my fabric so that when I go to move for the second design, the stabilizer is already in place. I'm going to take that flat frame of snap hoop and place it in about this fashion so that I can use that flat black line as an alignment mark, and yet I have the body of the hoop over here to stitch my design. So I'll just slide it underneath, and then I get the magnetic top frame and snap it in place, and you can hear that snap. That's always a good sign. So you can see that down on the bottom the black line is on the 2, and up here it's not so even. So you know what? I can just tug on the fabric. I can hold the bottom frame in place so it doesn't slide with the fabric, and just smooth that fabric over so that it's straight and square in the hoop. And notice when I do that, I'm not distorting the fabric because it's a flat hold. You're not in an inner and outer ring. Boy, is that a nice tight hold. And I can make sure I'm nice and square. When I'm satisfied with that, it's time to go to the machine and stitch that design. I'll stitch the first design, and then I'll rehoop for the second design down here. I've just finished my first design of the continuous design, so I'll lift the frame of snap hoop and just slide my fabric forward. And I want to fill the frame, with fresh fabric. Now this is a fairly large design, so I most certainly do have to get the bottom of the design all the way up towards the top of the hoop. You can take the hoop off the machine to do this, or you can do it right at the machine. I often like to do it right at the machine. Again, I want to make sure that the 2 mark is on this line, and it's fine down here, but up at the top it looks like I have to reposition my fabric a bit. So I have aligned all the sections, and now I just want to make sure that I have some stabilizer kind of bunched up underneath there. So I'll reach inside and smooth that down, just like at home. Challenge here too. Okay, so again, the black is on the 2 at the bottom and also at the top, and now I can smooth that. And now I'm going to go into the trace feature of my machine, and that allows me to go to the beginning or any point of the embroidery design. And you watch where the needle moves now. So as I move, I can see that I am going to stitch right on top of the previously stitched design, which actually is not a bad thing because the top of this embroidery design does have to come and connect with that stem. So I'll lower my foot and I'll make sure that my fabric is adjusted accordingly. And I really do want to match up the bottom of that stem. That's what I'm focusing on. I'm just making some slight adjustments. I could do that right here at the machine, and then I stitch my fabric. Off I go. You could, of course, could do a trial run. You could run all the way around to make sure that you're comfortable with your position. And I think I'll check the middle position and then also the outer edge, which it looks like I'm a little far over. So I'll reposition and off we'll go. And it's easy as that, connecting your embroidery designs in snap hoop.